It'll be Mark.
Mark.
I'm just here to, I guess, inform of a plan that we're looking at involving the radio system. Just go back a little bit into history. You should have, this form should be, and I'll get to that in just a second. To go back in history, the Sheriff's Department used the VHF radio system for years and years and years. About 3 years ago or so, through grants that the EMA got, we changed over to the 800 radio system. All the HTs or walkie-talkies or whatever you want to call them were obtained for us through grants through the EMA, the county, through the budget system. We purchased the in-car radios. So we switched over to the 800 radio system. I don't know how many of you are aware, but we've had some problems with it over the years. When the state police first went with it, it seemed to work very, very well when I was there, and I think probably that was because only a few people were, one agency was using it. It was, I think Don mentioned yesterday, the 800 system has kind of turned into a party line where there's so many people on it now that when we try to use it in an emergency, whether it's a snowstorm or a year ago when the high winds came through, we get busy signals. And it doesn't mean that different deputies are trying to use it. It means the state police are using it, state highway is using it, and we're not able to get in. So what we're looking at is switching back to the VHF system. And the map that you have in front of you is a computer generated coverage that J&K put together to show how well they think that the coverage is going to be when they get done installing some things, moving some antennas, installing other antennas, and the whole system will be linked together. So if one of the towers or antennas would happen to go down and not work, a radio transmission from South Whitley would go to another tower and still go all the way around the county to be able to hear in Churubusco.
These are tower locations, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Mark, what's the distance on that, what they can travel? Is that got a repeater?
It is kind of a repeater system,
And the repeater's where, at the jail?
no, they'll be at each one of these sites.
Oh, each one of the sites?
Yes, that's
So
the
you got
difference between
several.
what we have now. Right now, we've got one at the jail and one at South Whitley, and I don't know if there's one in Busco or not, but right now there's only 3. When this is done, I think there's a total of 2, 4, 6. And again, some of the antennas and things have to be repositioned, particularly up in that area.
Are they in fire station locations or?
I don't know exactly where they are. I think Don mentioned that the one in Smith Township is at their new location. Thorn Creek Township is there. I'm not exactly sure where the other ones are. Most of them, I think, are. But what we're looking at, dollars and cents wise, is somewhere between $45,000 and $50,000 for new HTs and new in-car radios. And if things remain the same within my budget, particularly the commissary, I'm looking at being able to provide about 50% of that, about half of that when the time comes. So we have asked J&K, is this going to work? Is this going to be the answer to all of our problems? Of course, their answer is yes, but I said I want to be able to actually test this thing before we make a decision one way or the other to make sure that we are getting the coverage. And it doesn't matter whether you're on the 800 system, VHF system. It works a lot like a cell phone. You may be able to get coverage in one location today on your cell phone, and then tomorrow, exact same location, you may drop a call there. Or there may just be a dead spot. It's going to happen in any radio system that you have. So we're just trying to get back on our own so that we're not sharing a system with the state police, state highway, and everybody else that's on that party line, so to speak.
Mark, a question, you mentioned cell phones. Everybody's probably got one, I assume. I don't know what your plan is or anything, but do they go beyond their minutes if they're allowed or any time, pay any excessive fees, or do they all stay within the program?
We've had problems with that over the years, but I think we've pretty well got it reined in now where I don't think we're having much of an issue.
Mark, as I understand that, or either one of you, being on the fire department, heard a little about this, and the county got some, or the fire got some grants for these towers, some towers, is that correct?
As I understand, yes.
And then what you're talking about is just going off of these same towers with another system for the police, for the
Correct.
sheriff's
Just
department,
basically piggybacking off of the existing towers.
that they're gonna pay for through some grants they got.
No,
Not,
They
I mean,
can't.
the
We
fire
can-
department is
the
gonna.
fire department's grants covered,
Right.
law enforcement cannot jump on that,
No, but you're just gonna
Exactly.
use some of the same equipment.
correct?
Okay, so I just wanna make sure, we know about enough to be dangerous. Looks like you guys, whoever brought this up still thinks that Detroit's in part of Noble County.
Well,
And back to you, Mr. Bayman, I looked the bills over, I can't recall within the last 2 years since we've had addressed it that we've had any overages.
So you guys, go ahead.
So this is pretty much, Mark, what you're thinking, what you're saying is, have we looked at is there any other kind of options available as far as radio frequencies or, have we looked at anybody besides J&K to see?
well, we're going to, when the time comes, I've got all the specs that's going to be needed, and I will put that out for bid or quote through ERS and anybody else that's able to provide. Yes, it's,
Yeah, the probability's probably not real high, but most likely it's kind of, somebody may have something that,
sure. Well, everybody's got something,
yeah.
so it's
So
it's
what
difficult.
kind of a time frame are you looking at? You're not really asking for money today, that's
No,
information.
no, just information only. I think they, with the work that they've got to do, I think we're looking at late July or maybe into August before we're ready to actually take a radio out and test. I think, am I correct on the time frame?
Right. Is there any other questions while they're here? Come back when you make sure they work.
We will.
All right, thank you.